Good morning. Good morning, good people. Today is Wednesday, February 18th. My gosh, this month has gone by fast. February 18th, 2026. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning here in southwestern Nevada. Where we are 60 miles west of Sin City, 60 miles east of Death Valley, 70 miles south of Area 51, and about 10 miles north of the brothels. Good system. No, we're at the crossroads, the best of the West, the best of the Western frontier here in Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky, you choose. Right. Today is day 3 in week 4 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Neuroscience. What does that mean? Well, neuroscience as opposed to some other type of science or non-science, not psychology, NLP, CBT, FYZ, THC, PCP, not science, pseudoscience, spirituality, astrology, meteorology, reflexology. None of those, just neuroscience asking the questions. Who am I from a neuroscience perspective, from a nuts and bolts, cellular, chemicals, electrical? Who am I from that perspective? Who am I from the perspective of I've got 100 trillion cells in my body, none of them know who I am, none of which care who I am, yet we are an integrated whole that brings meaning to life. I think it's getting worse, maybe not. So that's who we are. That's why we're here, to help us navigate through this life. Yeah, I would say it's not better. Okay, well, I go to the doctor tomorrow. See, okay. Today is, again, day 3, week 4. Today, and this is the week we call leadership, but it's really the 4th week in our 4-week cycle, 7 days a week. So this is the 4th week where we built up from our foundation. Who am I? Our overview and orientation to answer the questions. Who am I and why do I behave the way I do? Week 2 is we call inside our skull-sized kingdom, and that's the neuroscience part. How does my brain work? What are the function of what are neurons? What do they do? What are neurotransmitters? What do they do? Why should I care? What is the reticular activating system? What does it do? Why should I care? How can I use it to my advantage? And then next is outside my skull-sized kingdom. I can't be successful if I can't get people to help me. How do I find the people and motivate the people to help me on this journey? And then week 4 at the very top is, okay, now the adventure is afoot. I have my purpose, I have my North Star, I have my metaphorical ship to take me on this journey, I have my crew, I've picked them out, the people that are going to help me, and now what I have to do is focus on the journey, focus on the adventure, and keeping my crew doing their job, not letting them pull me here, pull there, mutiny, let's do this, let's do that, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I don't want to do this anymore, it's not fun. Keeping them moving forward to help me on my journey. And conversely, I help them on their journey. Okay, that's it. Today we are in week 4, day 3 of week 4. So we started, the leader spectrum, everything is crisis. We did that on Monday. To everything is perfect. We did that yesterday. So sometimes they're total crisis, sometimes they're perfect, but mostly it's in between where we have the highs and lows of our journey. What we want to do is accentuate the high, take the tide at its high point, and then when it starts going down, to mitigate that, lessen that as much as we can from the lessons we've learned and get back going forward. So that will tend to look like that type of a curve. An upward leaning sawtooth, as opposed to, well, I don't want any of this. I don't want any of this, which if I do it right leads to this tremendous growth. I want this. And life is too short to live that because your high points are not very high. Your lows are not low. But so here we advocate for where the highs go up higher than it goes down. So if it was like, if it went up +5 and it went down -5, we haven't made any progress. +5, -5, +5, -5, +5, -5. We're not getting anywhere, really. If it's up 5, down 5, down 5 more, now we're like this. We're not going anywhere. That's a lot of people's lives. In fact, a lot of people have a life like this, ka-chunk, and then they spend all this time trying just to get back to here. Okay, not good. We want to constantly go up. So the highs are higher and the lows are not as low. They're truncated, kind of like the price of gasoline. It goes up more than it goes down. Okay, so what do we got? What's on our hit parade? What's the advice from an 80-year-old? Advice from an 80-year-old. Remember that 80% of the success in any job is based upon your ability to deal with people. Right, outside my school-sized kingdom and leadership. Getting people to do what I want. Okay, correct. All righty then, let's look at Seth Godin. This is a long one. I don't know that we're going to be able to get all the way through it because it's a long epi one. How to write a coaching/learning prompt. An AI like Claude is actually a pretty good fortune cookie. You can ask a simple question, get a simple answer, sometimes a profound one. But this is the waste of the tool's potential. The AI is patient. It's capable of remembering things over time, and it will persist if you let it. Several of my friends have shared that they're at a crossroads with their work, and I suggest an AI coach might unlock something. Here's a chance to spin up an AI coach who will stick with you for hours or weeks as you explore a new skill or grapple with a hard decision. First one, you are my thinking partner and life design coach. I'm not looking for a quick answer. I'm looking for a smart, patient, and collaborator who will help me explore what's next. Over weeks and months, not a single conversation. Ask more than you tell, at least at first. About me, I'm, put in your age, 63. I'm retiring with full pay from a successful career as an educator in Chicago. I'm not burned out. I'm ready. I've spent decades being good at something that matters, and I want to find the next thing that deserves that same energy. What I'm not looking for, a list of top 10 encore careers, a personality quiz, pressure to monetize immediately. I don't need to replace my income. I need to replace my sense of purpose and craft. What I'm looking for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, help me take inventory. 2, help me, and then there's much more. 2, help me explore broadly before narrowing. 3, help me distinguish between what sounds appealing in the abstract and what I'd actually sustain. 4, give me some experiments to try. Not go start a nonprofit, but spend 2 hours a week doing X and notice how it feels. Okay. 5, help me navigate the identity shift. I've been an educator for a long time. I know what leaving a role that defined you is its own kind of project, emotional, not just logistical. 6, treat as an evolving conversation. Then Seth says, start by asking me 5 or 6 good questions, not surface level ones, the kind a wise friend would ask. Okay, that's the first set. The second set. You're my filmmaking coach and tutor. Your job is to help me build step by step the skills and workflow to create a short film using AI tools. I learn best by doing. Give me exercises, not just explanations. About me, I'm a filmmaker and author. I've written and directed 5 critically acclaimed independent films. I'm an experienced screenwriter. I'm new to AI creative tools, but I'm a fast, motivated learner. The project. I want to make a short film about ... I want to lean into it, into what AI does well stylistically and avoid the uncanny valley entirely. Tools I'm aware of. Blah, 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 blah. What I need from you. 1, start by assessing what I already know. Okay, good. Enjoy the journey. Right, that wasn't so painful. But that's how to write a coaching learning prompt. I think the point is you see where this is going. You see where this is going. AI, it's getting way beyond Google on steroids. When it can reach out, access a lot of stuff, etc., and help you learn and track with you, that's something. And that is just the tip, the point of the spear. There's a whole big thing coming behind it. Life is going to change radically in the next several years. Okay. Last night I was at the event where the 4 people running for judge were. The 2 incumbent district court judges and the 2 people running against them. And it was very interesting. The 2 incumbents are very different from one another. Very different. And the 2 challengers are very different from one another and from the incumbent. One set is extremely hostile towards one another. Yeah, one set very hostile. And I think there are 2 of them I think might be LDS. One of the incumbents is for sure. And I think one of the challengers is also LDS, which just goes to show a little bit about family values and IQ. High family values, moderate IQ. All righty then. Okay, so let's talk about today. Today, like I said before, we started with Crisis Monday, Leadership Tuesday. Today it's the in-between, Pragmatic Leadership, with the day today. And our guide here is good but different. So Monday, the guides were Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, Ernest Shackleton when his journey, I think it was the Endeavor. No, that doesn't sound right. When the ship got stuck in the ice and sank, and it was a crisis. Lincoln crisis, Shackleton crisis. How did they handle the crisis? Tuesday, Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosopher, who for 19 years was the emperor of Rome. And so a longer period of time establishing that it wasn't a blip, wasn't like a crisis situation, it was the 19-year haul, and the Stoic principles during that period. From somebody who kept a journal that was just for himself. It wasn't for other people to read. Okay, today, our key figure is Ignatius of Loyola, who kind of fits very well our model. And fast forward our getting to the end of it. Here is a guy who, if he could accomplish all he did, each of us can accomplish something. So starts out kind of spoiled, pampered, noble family without a lot of money, but they have land. They're well respected. It's respected enough that as the 13th child who inherits nothing is able to be sent off to the court of the king or queen, Ferdinand or Isabella, and then becomes a courtier and a soldier. And he's pretty good at the soldiering stuff. And because he's from a good family, grows up feeling the laws don't really apply to him. So he's a man of the world. Gambling, fighting, raping, drinking, killing as a soldier. He's that kind of guy. And gets up to the rank of, I think, captain, and then is injured. And then everything changes. When he's during his recuperation, it's a long recuperation from a cannonball smashing his leg, his shin. Long recuperation to recognizing, realizing, deciding he doesn't want to go back, can't go back to the life he had before, that chapter's done. Now he needs a new chapter. And because the normal laws don't apply to him, he's going to do something different. And that is to become a soldier for Mary and go to the promised land and fight for the Christians, because he read 2 books during his long, boring, painful recovery. Except, as Nancy Cohen says, when God wants to punish you, he answers your prayers. That's not how it worked out. Unintended consequences, struggle, until he implements what we learned last week. Seth Godin's 4-step formula, where he finally went from being a lone nut to a leader. And this little group of 10 guys got started, 10 men with no plan, got started and created something almost 500 years ago that's one of the most powerful organizations of all, powerful teaching and helping organization worldwide. One of the most powerful organizations that there are, with universities in most countries. Well, I guess it's not most countries, maybe 30 or 40 countries, but a worldwide network of highly educated people who are committed to the good. And with that, we are going to say cut, get ready for the wraparound.